Well, welcome to this special edition of CN2 News from the Winthrop President's House. Hello, I'm CN2's Lucas McFadden.
Good evening, I'm Laura Bree. Monday, we are excited to bring you this special inside the Mahony's home, of course, the Winthrop University President's House. Such a special evening we have in store for you. We have a lot on tap.
We've got a lot of ground to cover. We're going to catch up with both Dr. Dan Mahony and Laura Mahony. We're going to kind of see what their lives are like. We're going to catch up a little later in the special with their kids as well. But first, let's meet the Mahonys.
Let's do it. At home with the Mahonys, thank you for having us here. We are so excited. Let's just get people up to speed. For folks who haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, you guys have been here about 6 months, Laura and Dan, of course. Talk about you both. How did you all meet?
Well, I was a student at University of Cincinnati, and Dan was an intern in the athletic department. And basically, we just had a good connection, and we're friends first, started hanging out, and then, as you say, the rest is history.
Was becoming a president at a college big on your radar, or how did that evolution happen?
No, at that point, really, I was working in college athletics. I thought I'd be a college athletic director. And after doing that for a couple of years, I decided I'd rather teach about college athletics than actually work in college athletics, and so that's when I went back and got my doctorate and started teaching. But yeah, I never thought about being university president at that point.
What did you think the future held? Where did you think you guys might land?
Well, you know, we both started out in our own careers. I was a social worker and Dan was a college professor, and you know, we were going to be a two-income family and both tag team with careers and kids, and you know, history changed there for us, and we took another course. He just started moving up and up in administration. It seemed to be the right fit for him. And before you knew it, he was saying, I really think I want to be a university president.
That's great. And here we are. We're lucky to have you. Now you're here at Winthrop, Winthrop's 11th president. You guys moved to the area in June, shortly after the big announcement. And talk about that, what the last 6 months has been like for your family.
It's been a lot of meeting a lot of people. I mean, that's been a big part of it, both in the community and around the university. But it's been a really great transition. People have been very welcoming, really from the time we interviewed. People were very friendly, very welcoming. Everybody wants, I think, Winthrop to be successful in Rock Hill, and so you get a lot of support from all people. But it's been a great transition.
I would love to hear how you describe your husband, because I think people see someone at a podium, hear someone briefly on TV, see you in a parade. It's been so great you guys have jumped in 2 feet first. But just in your mind, what do you want people to know?
Well, I think the first thing I always think about with Dan that people probably get a sense of, but they don't think of first, is he's a great dad. First and foremost, the kids are the most important thing in his life. That is what he always prioritizes first. But he also looks to do this job as more of a public servant. He's not, I think, typical in that. He's the everyman, and I think everybody sees that in him. You know, people in the cafeteria come up and are talking football with him, and he can talk from anybody to the state senator to, you know, the students, the people in the cafeteria. He's just the average good guy.
And same thing, Dr. Mahony, tell us a little bit about Laura. What don't we see sometimes?
You know, I think so many people are starting to see it, but I think the amount of time that she puts into the university too. I mean, she spends a lot of time trying to do things that are supportive of Winthrop, and you know, I think that's been a real help to me, and so she's very much engaged. But I would say the same thing too about her. I mean, the kids are always our top priority, and so her role as a mother is a top thing, and so sometimes it's hard to balance all of those things, and we've had that discussion a few times where it's like, well, I want you to be at this, but the kids need you at that. Well, then that's where you got to go, and so we tend to focus on that a lot, and she does that very much as well.
And really finding that balance for both of you, understandably, is a challenge. So you've had 6 months now to try and sort through it. What is a typical day like?
You know, I think actually the most fun part about the job is there is no typical day. You know, it isn't like you have a day that's like every other day. Every day is a little bit different. You know, you have different meetings, you're meeting with different groups, you have different opportunities to do things, and you're one email away from your day being entirely different than you expected. So that's the other part of it that is can be a little difficult at times, but also challenging.
How do you, though, get that passion, that excitement off the Winthrop campus through the rest of the Rock Hill community to make them also, want to support and see great things happen from the university?
That's one of the things I'd heard a lot before I even got here, but I understood, having seen it a lot with Ken when I was there as well, is that as a president, you have to be out and active and have a big presence in the community as well as on campus. And so whether it was the Knowledge Park Group or the Rock Hill Economic Development Group, all of those things I got involved with very quickly. But like I said, I think what I was really happy with was how important it was to all of those people that Winthrop was successful. And there was a strong level of support for the university in Rock Hill and really across York County and beyond. And that makes it a lot easier. So you're not trying to convince people that we're important. They feel we're important and they want to support.
And one way that they've continued to support the community is to really open up the doors of this home and invite people in. So after this break, Laura's going to give us a great behind-the-scenes tour, so we're looking forward to that. Welcome back to CN2 Noon. Such a pleasure to be here at the Winthrop President's Home, and the gracious Laura Mahony having us in not only to chat with the family but also to take a tour of what is such a historic home. And what I have found so endearing is in the short time that you've been here is just how much you've embraced not just the current student body but really the history of this university.
That's probably one of the things we fell in love with right away, and we're just so charmed by the history of Winthrop and the very visionary DB and all of these wonderful women that were coming here to be educated at a time when not a lot of women were being educated. And also the same charm is in this house. It's this historic, beautiful old home which every president has lived in. And you'll see one of my favorite photos in the home is the picture of DB's wife, Mai, and her firstborn in this house, which gives you a real good perspective of the lives that have been spent in this house and the history. And it's very, very touching.
And if you could fill people who may not know a little bit in on DB.
First of all, a lot of people don't realize that he had one arm, and he did all of these amazing things at this school, educating these women, coming up with the training school to have teachers teach some of these students and get experience, working on the farm, playing sports, all at a time when none of this was happening. He was far ahead of his time. And he and his wife lived the greatest part of their years in this home and raised their children here.
And so now, fast forwarding, thinking about what your family is doing, and that you do have children, and it's so exciting for campus to, I think, have a family in this house. When you walk in, do you have those moments of current but also history? It's a little juxtaposition for you.
Yes, definitely. And I feel actually kind of connected to his wife. She raised her children in this home, and I'm doing the same with my children, and at a significant point in our lives with them being teenagers and transitioning. And it's just a wonderful place, and we love having people in, and we also love the fact that when people walk into the home, just the awe they have and the connection they feel with the history of Winthrop and the people that have been here and the times they have shared here, and the spirit that seems to remain in this home. It's quite lovely.
Well, let's talk about some of those times. You're sitting in a very special place.
Yes.
There's a photograph next to us, so fill people in on that, please.
Yes, this is a favorite spot of people coming into this home because this is where Eleanor Roosevelt sat when she came here to have lunch, as you can see from the picture, which was probably one of the most important things for this house and this university, someone of that caliber and specialness to come here.
So let's take us through the home. What is a favorite place for you in addition to this couch? Where does the family spend time?
We mostly spend time in the sunroom, and it's a beautiful room with a brick walls, and it's very interesting because it wasn't one of the original parts of the house. It was added on in the 1917 renovation. Mm-hmm. Both the sunroom and the porch were added on. And it had originally been painted blue and then painted over again white. And when Phil Lader, who was one of the presidents, came and did a renovation in 1983, he was having the walls sandblasted and noticed the markings of the blue and the white, made a unique design on the walls and stopped it. So it's very, very original and unique, and people come in and remark on it and love it, and it is definitely one of our favorite rooms.
Does Washington hang out with you when you guys are?
He does, and he has taken over this home quite well and lets everyone know that he is definitely first dog and definitely responsible for the care and the protection of this home.
And as we make our way through, a lot of photographs on the wall. That's important to you.
When we came in, we just fell in love with the history and felt like we were part of a legacy here and that we're part of the Winthrop family. And so we decided to put out a lot of old photographs, like the Eleanor Roosevelt photographs of presidents entertaining students in the home, and like I said, my favorite photograph of Maya and her firstborn.
And there is a wall almost of presidents. There's a
Yes.
space in the house for that, so
Yes.
there's always a little tribute there. And then breakfast. Where do you all start your day? Is it always kitchen? Do you eat in the dining room?
Well, when we're running to school, we eat as we can, but we do enjoy spending time in the breakfast room, which is a nice little nook in between the kitchen and the formal dining room. So that's kind of our family spot. But when we entertain guests, we entertain in the formal dining room, which we love, and a lot of other people love that too.
And you've already started having parties. It is the season, of course. And so as you've kind of really enveloped the community and had people into this home, what has that sort of felt like? Is it home?
It's definitely home, and it's home for not just us, but like I said, for people who are Rock Hill citizens and Winthrop family. And we see people come in and connect with people that they haven't seen in a long time. It's a great gathering place for a lot of people to come and reminisce and get together once again.
And when you sit on the porch, to think that that porch used to be even closer to the road, fill people in on that backstory.
Yes, yes. The original structure was flush up against the road, and when they went from horse and buggy to streetcars, the road was going to be widened. And so they moved the house back 50 feet and, in 1917. And they actually put the house on logs and had it pulled back by oxen, which was fascinating that they were able to do that at the time.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Well, not only the first lady, but the first tour guide. I
Yes.
feel like you really, again, have embraced so much. So thank you for sharing some of those
Thank you, my
great
pleasure.
details. And we are going to head out to the West Center and catch up with Lucas and Dr. Mahony.
Well, welcome back to this special edition of CN2 News. Of course, we're hanging out with the Mahony family. This is Dr. Dan Mahony, and Dr. Mahony, you begin every day here exercising at the West Center. Certainly, there are a lot of exercise venues throughout the Rock Hill area. What is it about coming here to exercise every morning?
Well, first of all, it's a great center, so all the things are here that I would want, but also I think it gets me more engaged in the campus. I try to be out and active as much as I can, interacting with students, faculty, staff, everybody, and so it just makes more sense to come here than any place else.
It's a little quiet right now, but what's the reaction when students do see you exercising here?
Well, some are used to it because some have seen me on a regular basis. So those who are here at the same times I am kind of used to it. But there's some every so often. I was here on Sunday, and some students were like, "Is that the president who just walked by?" So some of them are surprised.
And do you like that? I would assume that's great to kind of hear that.
Yeah, it is great. I mean, the students here are great, and they always, I've had students take me off the treadmill to take pictures and do all that type of stuff. So they like seeing me here, and I like interacting with the students here. I don't know what I would do if I didn't exercise every day. I just don't feel the same when I don't. So I know it has a big impact on me, and so I try to encourage others to get physically active.
Amen to that. So talk a little bit about your routine. What do you do? Do you do a lot of free weights? Do you do a lot of cardio? Talk a little bit about your personal trainer, I guess, workout.
Yeah, I usually do about 15 minutes in the weight room here, and so I'll do a little lifting, upper body and lower body, and then I do cardio usually for about 45 minutes to an hour every day. So usually exercise bike or an elliptical.
Oh, that's great. And of course, eating healthy is right up there too as well, right? But I'm sure you fall off the horse every now and then.
Yeah, it's a little hard because you don't, as a president, sometimes you don't get to decide what you eat. You eat what they serve you. But no, I've been a lot better about it than I used to be when I was younger. I did the South Beach diet several years ago,
okay.
and I learned a lot about eating better from that. And so while I don't do that diet specifically anymore, it changed my eating a lot, and it's been good.
Cool. All right, let's talk a little bit about here on campus. As you mentioned earlier, you like to hang out with the students, and you want to encourage more student involvement here on campus.
I was actually talking with one of our Board of Trustees members about an idea she had, and we changed it just a little bit, but the idea was that we would have people donate every time we won a game, and we would give scholarships to students who showed up to the game. And we thought, well, both the combination of the possibility to win the scholarship, but also the excitement that goes with it. And the coaches do a great job of selling it and getting everybody all excited at the end of the game when we win. It's worked real well. We've had a lot of interest from students, and so this is the first school that I know that's ever done this. So this is a first.
That's great. And of course, we've already had a couple of scholarship winners, which is remarkable. What do you want to say to students that might be watching this that haven't gone yet, or just say like, I don't, what is it? How do you sell them on that?
Yeah, I think the scholarship thing is easy.
Right, yeah,
the potential
that's
to win
true.
$500, and we're gonna have a big scholarship, 2 big scholarships at the end of the year, but you gotta attend at least 5 games. So if they haven't been attending yet, they need to start coming. But really, the one thing is just getting involved in general. And I talk with students about that. I did during convocation. That when I started getting involved in campus, that's when I started enjoying my college experience. Absolutely. If all you do is go to classes are great, but you won't get the full college experience.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk a little bit about football. I know it keeps coming up here on Winthrop's campus. Winthrop does not have a football team yet. We recently had 3 state football champions in our area. Where do we stand with that discussion here on campus?
Yeah, we have a group that's actually looking at that, so we'll make a decision by the end of the academic year, and so I'm waiting for them to do the analysis, and they've gone through that. I've talked with them a couple times about the different factors you have to look at, and it's a complicated issue.
Right.
So.
It's not just a yes, let's do it. I know it's financial, it's space, it's an issue and everything like that. You yourself, I assume, you are a football fan.
Yeah, I played football. My dad coached, and so I grew up around the sport. So I like it, although I've told everybody that will have 0 impact on the decision here. So.
Well, I'm a football fan, so I don't know if that vote gets too much of a say-so in, but if it does, I vote for it as well. Lastly, let's talk a little bit, too, about Winthrop's presence nationally recently in terms of everything from hosting a lot of presidential candidates. That's got to be great for the school. How have you seen maybe some excitement from that, some early numbers maybe, or just anything, some reaction from hosting the recent Democratic presidential candidate, as well as a lot of our Republican presidents have come through here?
Yeah, it's always hard to tell exactly what had an impact on what, but we certainly have seen a big impact or big increase, in applications for next year, in MITs, which means the quality of the people applying is really strong. So we are seeing very positive numbers, and these are just early numbers, but things are going really well. I think the long-term impact, too, of just it raised the profile of Winthrop University, particularly the Democratic Forum, was a big national event, and that was great.
That's huge. All right. Well, I don't mean to crash your workout any longer, so we're going to let you get back. From here, I know you walk back to your house, so we'll shower, and we'll continue the rest of the CN2 special up right after this.
Welcome back to CN2 News. You have had quite an experience.
Dr. Mahony puts in a good workout. I should lift weights with him every single morning.
Such fun. And really for the students to get to see him working out must be inspirational.
Oh, it's great. People were coming up, talking with them, speaking with them, and as you heard, a lot of folks want to take pictures with him. Listen, I told him if I was in college and my president of my college was exercising, I would be in that gym every single day. It's just really cool to see him in the gym in a natural surrounding.
Absolutely. And of course, there are more members to the Mahony family, and we're excited to meet them.
12-year-old Elena and 15-year-old Gavin. Their stockings are hanging already now on the fireplace behind us.
It's been an exciting 6 months for them. Teenagers moving, that's a lot to uproot, but they've really settled in beautifully. They've had some great experiences. The family has certainly exposed them to different people when presidential candidates have been in town. They got to take pictures with Hillary Clinton. They were excited about that. So I think the more people they meet, it really is just growing who they are, and it's an exciting thing to be on a college campus.
I think it's really cool, and in fact, they shared with us a little bit about their experiences living here at Winthrop.
I like going around the campus to the West Center and Student Center with my friend. My friends just love coming here because of what they can do here with me.
And I think there was a sweatshirt story where you asked for sweatshirts, is that right? So you guys could kind of walk around. Tell me about that.
Yeah, me and my friends, we got a bunch of sweatshirts from the house that said Winthrop, so we would look like college students when we walked around campus.
This has got to be pretty cool to be in high school and live on a college campus.
It's really cool. I can go to Markley's any day. I can go to West Central. Like you can walk and go to a lot of places.
What would be something that folks would find interesting about living here or about being in your shoes that they might not think of?
Well, besides the house and the campus, I don't think there's a big difference besides maybe going to a party too. I'm still a high school kid. I still do my homework, still go to the same classes.
So much fun getting to meet the entire First family, including these wonderful children. You guys must be really proud of them. It's a lot to pick up at the age that they are and move and really jump in and do so well.
Yeah, we're very proud of them. We're proud they're representing Winthrop and our family very well.
it. All right, so we're almost going to end 2015, beginning 2016. We already have a graduation under our belts. We'll have another big one in May. You've kind of toned your inauguration a little bit down a little bit, and that just, I think, just speaks volumes, the kind of leader you'll be here on campus.
Well, thank you. But I think it'll be fun. I enjoy that. Commencement is actually one of my most favorite things to do when I've been in the university setting. And so to kind of combine the installation with commencement just to me makes a lot of sense.
It's got to be an interesting dance to make a lot of people happy. You've got a board, you've got faculty, you've got students, you've got the community, you've got a family. How do you please?
And it's hard to, you can't please everyone and you can't do everything. We were talking earlier today about one, I think the things that's difficult in this role is it's not deciding what's a good idea and what's a bad idea. It's deciding from the 100 good ideas which 10 you can afford to do. And that's always a challenge. So it's hard to tell people no a lot, and some are going to be disappointed. But I think if you're open and honest and you tell people why you're doing what you're doing and you're as transparent as possible, most people will accept it. Not everybody, but most people will. And I think that's what I've tried to do in the past and will do here.
Well, we're very glad you all are here, and we appreciate again so much you inviting us into your home and really spending a day with us. So thank you both very much.
Our pleasure.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for spending this holiday season with us. Hope you have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We'll see you back on the news desk. Thanks for watching.